this morning, and let me just start out by saying, like I always do, that everything I say is simply my opinion. It's simply for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up an intelligent discussion where we can all learn something together. Fingers crossed. So, my videos are all made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform, so prepare yourself, right? And today, what was it that we started out talking about? The big thing that happened yesterday with the um, explanation that Roberta Laundrie made for the burn after reading letter that was discovered that she's had to answer for. So she claims she wrote the letter around May of 2021 before Brian and Gabby left for New York in June of 2021. And she gave it to him way before September or October, way before that. Way before that. But, there is a lot of words that seem to have something to do with her son's unaliving of his girlfriend. So she said that they had a very strained relationship when he was about to take off for his cross country trip. Probably it was all Gabby's fault, right? And that they shared a love of story, Brian and Roberta. So she was referring to a few books in her letter, like Runaway Bunny, Little Bear, and Burn After Writing. Burn After Writing was a gift from Gabby, so that's an excuse for that, right? Um, let's see. Sorry about that. Oh, so annoying. And then it hijacks my brain. I have a brain, really, I do. It'll come back any moment now. So the FBI got a hold of that letter. Possibly, I had thought maybe it was in the dry bag and that was how they got a hold of it. But apparently, they might have gotten a hold of it before that, at least according to Roberta's explanation. It was before that. But that means it probably was in the dry bag, right? I don't believe anything she wrote. Nothing. None of it. Anyway, I thought it was interesting because it seemed like the Laundries definitely had an in with the Federal Bureau of Investigation since they seemed to be letting Brian slip away, right? But someone in the FBI got their hands on it that wasn't a fan of the Laundries, it seems. Um, but I always want to underscore the importance of how evidence can be lost if things are not processed quickly, right? It's huge. And keeping that in mind with the Moscow, Idaho 4 and the 12 hours that passed from the alleged time of the unalivings until things started to get underway with the processing of the crime scene. 12 hours, you guys. And then, you would think that the police department would be lamenting the fact that they lost 12 hours of evidence, but they're not the slightest bit concerned. That's concerning. That is why I don't believe anything they say. Straight up with Moscow PD. I don't believe nothing because they should be lamenting the fact that a bunch of evidence was lost in those first 12 hours, and 4 of those hours were their own doing. Anyway, the gaslighting. The gaslighting is just nonstop. And the thing to me that's so evil and vile about gaslighting is that people are trying to make you question yourself, as if people don't question themselves enough already, right? And it's just my own little thing that I really believe that self-doubt is the darkest enemy that we can face as humans. The only thing that compares is other people trying to inject self-doubt into another party. Those are the gaslighters. Those are the master manipulators. They've got a insatiable desire to have power and control over what other people see, hear, do, think. It's ridiculous. And it's because they don't have control over their own dumb selves, in my humble opinion. So, Harsh One Shelley recommended a really good movie that I highly recommend, but it's hard to watch. So be prepared, trigger warning times a million if you decide you want to watch this movie called The Luckiest Girl Alive. It's on Netflix and it stars Mila, oh, how do you say her name? It's escaping me right now. Mila Kunis, Mila Kunis. So she also is the producer of it, and she's just phenomenal. She was from that 70s show, and she was married to Ashton Kutcher for a while, I think. I think they had kids together. Anyway, the movie is really about the complexities of victimization and self-doubt and others doubting and the skepticism that we all face, but especially as women. So the movie Thelma and Louise, you know, the movie that I just recommended, The Luckiest Girl Alive, is just tragic and traumatic with sexual assault scenes. So prepare yourself if you can handle that. And I compared it to Thelma and Louise when I saw that movie back when it came out in the early 90s. I was not amused. I was not amused with the SA scene towards the beginning on the hood of a car where Gina Davis is getting attacked and Susan Sarandon comes to her rescue. Not my cup of tea. I actually got up and left and demanded my money back. And I was on a date with my now husband, and he had the same reaction that I did. It wasn't like he was just supporting me or I was just supporting him. We were both like, let's get the hell out of here. And how about our money back? Thank you very much. So then I was talking about, I caught some of the women's summit this morning and it was hilarious. I couldn't remember the word summit. It seems like since COVID, that happens a lot more, and it does worry me when I can't come up with a freaking word. Thank goodness for my cell phone and the thesaurus. Anyway, women's summit. I'm like women's apex, women's retreat. Hilarious. Billie Jean King and Hillary Clinton and they had a lot of great things to say. Someone said, "Oh, I'm not a fan of Hillary Clinton." And I was like, "Yeah, I hear ya, sister. But Billie Jean King, how can you not be a fan of the Billie Jean King? That woman rocketh the world." So she made this statement about how money allows us freedom and mobility. And I just thought that that was the coolest way to say it. I've always thought of money as sort of a river, a body of water that we can control the flow of. Sometimes it's overflowing, sometimes it's drying up, but we can control the flow of it. And so it's not that money is necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, it's that, um, my goodness, hilarious. Try to turn my phone off and it decides it wants to take a picture. Okay, on with it. Trying to wrap this up quick. We're already at 9 minutes. Okay. The controlling the flow of your cash flow, that's what we can do with our finances, is that we can direct the flow of traffic and how we want to see it be used and directed. Um, I made a very bold statement at the end of the video. I said, we need to face the facts, basically, that drugs are a part of this case, speaking directly to the Moscow, Idaho 4 case. Um, there's also an extremely high car prowler incidence, rate of incidence in Moscow, which goes hand in hand with areas of high substance use and abuse. So I think that it's safe to understand that we have substances involved in the Moscow for Idaho 4 case. I don't know how exactly they come into play other than Of course, we know some of the parents, but college kids, come on, we can't be naive about that. We absolutely can't be naive. That's like the elephant in the middle of the room. So I'm going to say peace out. Please hit that like, share, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Try to get your exercise and eat right, eat high protein, lots of vegetables, and high produce. Drink your water, stay hydrated, get fresh air and exercise and breathe, get your rest and relaxation, and only allow people around you that respect you and that you respect. And be kind and demand kindness from others, and things should go well. So, namaste. Peace out, you guys. Sending you light, sending you love. Thanks again.